Alright, y'all, so I am J. Nicole, and I'm back with another TV Talkback video. And in this video, I'm talking about Married to Medicine Season 9, Episode 6, Viva Las Vegas. It's a little bit late, but the other show ain't out yet, so we still on time, right? So yeah, forgive my appearance, but I'm just chilling. This is me after work, not worrying about doing my hair and putting on makeup and none of that. I'm just drinking my wine and I'm talking about the show with you guys. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so the show picked up where we left off last episode, and they're playing Never Have I Ever, which I thought Jackie had kicked them out at the end of the last episode, but whatever. So they had a few more questions of Never Have I Ever. One of them was Never Have I Ever Had Sex on the Beach, which Toya drank. I guess Quad had remembered. They've been doing the show so long that Quad had remembered that Eugene says he doesn't like PDA. So whoever Toya was talking about probably was not Eugene, but shoot. I mean, she must have had a life before Eugene, so hey. And the next one, I think Jackie was like, Never have I ever smoked marijuana, which, are we even surprised? And then the funniest one to me was Anila mentioning Never have I ever had anal around all these black women. And black women don't play that, at least not majority of us. So somebody looked at her, I think Contessa was like, girl, you better drink, because like none of them drank to that. And I don't know, that was hilarious. I think during this point, Simone had screamed like, y'all know Simone loud anyway, but Simone was like, the vagina stretches, not the anus, or whatever. So that's funny. Y'all know, black women we don't really do all that. But anywho, I think at this point, Jackie kicks the girls out or whatever, and they go get ready for dinner. And Jackie says the group is in for a treat. The first night is her night, and then the second day is Simone's day. So, I mean, I guess, girl. But we see the ladies and everybody's getting all dolled up. A lot of them had on glitter and stuff. And, this is when I noticed Jackie had on that jacket with the dollar signs, which, girl, where you get that from? What is that? It looks like something I would have seen in the thrift store or whatever. I mean, it honestly do. And it probably would be okay depending on how it's styled, but I was curious. But we see Contessa putting on this rainbow wig. Girl, how many wigs did you buy from Heavenly Beauty? So, I guess she having fun. I don't approve, but she's having fun. So, Scott told her, don't say nothing to old girl about those videos. And Contessa was like, you just ready to get back cool with Damon, like get over the weirdness. Which, during the Act Storm event or during the costume party, I can't say that I witnessed any weirdness between them two. But maybe it's been so many people among them, and then we know Damon don't really do all the BS, that I hadn't noticed. But anywho, so Contessa says that with her rainbow wig, she's Chanel tonight. She's not Contessa. And Heavenly says she'll apologize to Contessa, but she's not apologizing to Chanel. And Jackie pulls out this whip of all things. So I guess she was giving them a hint of what type of night it would be. But at this point, Anila's like, anybody want a shot? And Jackie was like, you need a shot of penicillin, which was so random, but I laughed. And then I think Quad also thought it was funny up until Jackie and Simone was like, yeah, syphilis is on the rise in Atlanta. And Quad, being the only single person at the table, was like, now hold up now, I'm out here, but I'll take care of my body. Like, whoever get with me need to have a clean bill of health. And I know that's right. So Quad asked Jackie, where did she get this jacket from? Because she normally, she not real loud about the moves she be making, or, the money she made. She's pretty quiet. So, in other words, where you get this loud ass jacket from? And I forgot how they get on it, but Heavenly was like, well, everyone at this table is successful. Which I think it was weird coming from Heavenly because she normally like super shady. And it's always something behind everything she says, but it seemed like she meant it, she was genuine when she said it. But Anila was like, do you really believe that? And I almost wish Heavenly hadn't said this at all. It's like they opened the door for, stuff to be said. But Heavenly said that. Anila was like, do you really believe that? And Heavenly was like, yeah, I truly believe everybody at this table is successful, whether she meant it or not. And so this is when Audra asked Toya, well, am I a good lawyer? Because, you act like I'm not a good lawyer. It clearly was just a joke. But like Audra said, I don't play about my profession. You probably could have said anything else to her and she would have let it slide. But you just said, you sat there and was like, she's not a good lawyer and this is what she does. So she was offended by it. And then she had mentioned she had mentioned that she was African and she don't play about her career. And I think that kind of weirded everybody out. But at a table with so many professionals / people who've been to college, especially HBCUs, it's a stereotype, but I think it's a pretty popular one. Like, if you went to a HBCU and I went to two, we all know some Africans. And even if they don't take it super seriously, their parents don't play. And we also saw that in Wendy from Housewives of Potomac. So, I don't know. She said the African thing. I think, it didn't look like, it looked like they kind of dismissed it at the table, whatever. Nobody really addressed it, but I think they know it's true. But, Toya was trying to tell her it was just a joke. It was just a joke. Like I said, I didn't mean nothing by it. And then all I know, Audra came for her critical thinking skills. And Toya seemed a little bit like put off by that. Just the conversation in general. But ma'am, just last episode or episode before last, I think episode 4, you and your husband had a problem with Anila and Dr. Karen talking, joking about y'all constantly moving. So all jokes ain't funny, right? So they leave dinner and they go to this shop with sex toys. And Toya says this group is obsessed with sex toys. And I did not realize this, but clearly it was true because we flash back to 4 different seasons. And each season they managed to have a party with sex toys. But at the end of the day, it looks like they all had fun. We had very minimal drama among the group. And day 1, Jackie's day, was a success. So it's the morning after, and we see Simone kind of got Toya together about the Audra joke. And, she brought up the fact that all jokes really aren't funny. So just because you meant it to be a joke, like, haven't we had enough instances in this group recently about, like, jokes not going over well? So she was like, either you can call her Deidre for the rest of the trip, because I think Toya act like she didn't know her name. You can call her Deidre for the rest of the trip and deal with what comes from that. Or you can kind of get over it and try to get back. I guess, try to be mature and have a good trip with her. And in this small clip, we see all the husbands basically home with the kids. So Eugene is with the kids, and he's pretty much happy Toya's gone. He says the house is quiet. He's there with his sons, look like they're having a good time. And then Anila's husband is with the kids, and not only do he seem to like, dads kind of have that way with kids. I know we was real rough around our mom, but then when dad came along, we straightened up. But Dr. Karen is in there making pizzas with the kids, and they say they miss their mom, but other than that, it looks like he's doing pretty good with them. And then we see Dr. Scott with the kids, and Contessa's kids is being slick without her. That oldest one got on makeup and hair done, and she's only 13, but she looks so much older. And then we see Alora driving with Dr. Damon, Heavenly's kid. So yeah. So next we're at Simone's day, and they go to brunch, and they make a cheers to new beginnings, which was very optimistic, but clearly they kind of got ahead of themselves with that. And Toya asked the waiter for bacon, and I really want to bring up last episode how when they got into the suite, the waiters pretty much told them what was available as far as food, and then she asked for something that the waiter did not say. And you could tell she's used to getting what she wants. And most people, you know, I guess that comes with money too and just being spoiled. But most people, if a menu or something is given to you, you just like, okay, I'll pick from what's available. But I know last episode she asked for like asparagus or Brussels sprouts, some vegetable that was not available. And I thought it was tacky then. And then when she gets to this breakfast, which is like a distinct, like they only have like Mexican selections, she asked for bacon. And the guy was like, it's traditional Mexican meals. And she was like, okay, can I have some bacon? So anywho, we also see Contessa, who's clearly not following her diet. They bring up Simone's book. And so Simone's like, yes, me and Cecil are putting out a marriage book, relationship book, and says that they've been together 25 years and it's the longest marriage at the table. And their reasoning for doing it is because they literally like came back from the brink of divorce and they're happier now. And so during this rough time for her and Cecil, Simone admits to the table that Heavenly was there for me and Heavenly gave me all this advice. And although we aren't as cool now, she was a really great friend to me. And you can tell everybody's like, oh, okay. But Contessa clearly does not like that. And although everybody was agreeing with Simone, Contessa was very much a hater in this moment. And it's like, just because you don't feel like that was your situation with her doesn't mean it was true. It wasn't true for Simone. Not to mention, if I could recall, Heavenly was never calling for you and Scott to get a divorce. I think Heavenly just wanted you to be happy. And because you were doing so much complaining and you were so sad, Heavenly wanted you to figure out what was going to work for you and to move forward with that choice. And I do think that Contessa's memory is kind of clouded with how she felt disrespected during the YouTube videos, but I believe Heavenly was there for her too. So from this point, we kind of got on Jackie not letting people know when they make her mad. That kind of stemmed from the conversation. And I'm sure it was some type of segue. But I think Heavenly said that Jackie is good. Jackie doesn't let people know when they make her mad. And Carrie, who has not said much the whole time, says, passive aggressive, right? But no, not passive aggressive at all. I think it's actually mature. And I watched the show a long time, and even though we don't see it all the time, sometimes I am reminded that Dr. Jackie really don't fool with Toya. And although Heavenly is the most vocal about it, I think Dr. Jackie also kind of lacks respect for Toya in that way. But you'll never know. She's never outright rude to Toya. She doesn't make Toya feel bad. You just can kind of tell her and Toya aren't close. So that's what that reminded me of when they said that. But then Contessa took it as, well, you shouldn't everybody shouldn't be your friend. And the editing right here was like pretty choppy. I see where they was trying to go with this. I don't know if Contessa would have brought that up immediately after they was talking about Dr. Jackie, but Contessa did say, well, you know, Jackie, everybody should be more like that because everybody really shouldn't be your friend. And when you have too many people in your ear, it's too many opinions. And you pretty much trying to make everybody happy, like all your friends happy with your decisions. And I immediately was thinking, well, how old are you? Because a friend's opinion isn't law. A friend's opinion isn't like Bible. You can get suggestions and you can talk to your friends and vent to your friends, but just because they tell you one thing, you should still do what you're going to do and feel the way you're going to feel when you get home. You shouldn't let what they say truly affect your decision making. And that's pretty much what Heavenly said. I think Heavenly kind of felt that smoke, even though Contessa didn't address her personally. And Heavenly said, can't nobody tell me nothing about my man. And I totally agree. It's one thing to feel away and vent to your girls, but you're the only one there 24/7. And at the end of the day, you have to make the decision that's best for you.
Message.
So at this point, Simone is like, but Heavenly, do you understand what Contessa is actually saying by that? And pretty much Jackie in the confessional is like, Simone, why are you doing this now? Because neither of them, Contessa or Heavenly, has not said each other's names. But Simone called it out, called it what it was, and said, Heavenly, you get what Contessa is saying when she says that? And I don't know how Simone thought this was going to go, but it went left. I don't know. But Heavenly pretty much was like, you know, people would be able to, people could say what they want about my marriage. People could say what they want about my man. They can even make up stuff. But at the end of the day, I know I'm not leaving my husband. Nothing's going to make me leave my husband. And Heavenly has always been honest with her truth. She's pretty much always said that. And so she telling y'all now, whoever pops up or wants to make up something about Damon just to spite her or their relationship, she has her mind made up. And she riding for him. And people can say that that's, you know, stupid or whatever. But I think Heavenly's putting it out there. You might as well not even try it with her because their relationship is strong enough to handle it. And I respect it. And so when she said the makeup stuff part, this is when I think Simone was like, yeah, but people shouldn't make up stuff about your relationship. And I was a little bit confused about this because I think Contessa has in her mind that Heavenly had made up stuff about Scott when she answered the question like he's abusive. And that's not what I took from her answering the question, especially because she said that she said verbatim, he's not abusive physically. Of course, the Bravo edits show old clips of basically everything that Contessa was saying about Scott week after week and the different things that she brought to the show, which I think had everybody like, oh yeah, this is not looking good for them. And I don't know, the scene just got really dramatic. At this point, Heavenly stood up, which I don't agree with because I don't know how it went 0 to 100 like that. But Heavenly stood up and screaming, and it's people like recording them. It just got really bad, really dramatic, quite ghetto, out of nowhere. And it didn't have to be this bad. But once again, Simone is trying to get Heavenly to understand you shouldn't repeat what a friend has told you. Which, of course, Simone also dealt with this with Heavenly. Heavenly says the information is out there. I'm reviewing the show. And if you don't want me to talk about it, don't put it out there. So at this point, Heavenly was saying like her marriage is perfect. Her marriage is perfect. And I think she doesn't literally mean her marriage is perfect. I think Heavenly just keeps trying to get y'all to understand that there is nothing bad enough going on in their relationship for her to mention or showcase to this show to have to worry about y'all bringing it up on account of, you know, ooh, now I knew they had stuff going on. Heavenly she been up here probably 7 seasons, and she's made it clear me and Damon ain't got nothing going on home. I bring up my kids, I'll talk to them or whatever. I'll have storylines with them in front of the cameras. You'll see me and my husband. But if the show is about me and these girls, then I'm going to make it about me and these girls. And Heavenly doing it right. And I think everybody else kind of let the ball drop. Like, the rocky things that was going on in their marriages, it just kind of came out and came to the forefront. And Heavenly has made it clear that she not doing it. Not for these cameras, she not. So Contessa says she's not mad at Heavenly. I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad. Are you sure? Because why are we even here? Like, of course you're mad at her. Why else have you not talked to her for months? Heavenly's then saying she don't fuck with Contessa. And Contessa was basically like, well, agreed. Like, I don't fuck with you either. And it just got really out of hand. And Jackie's just sitting there like, it's menopause. It must be menopause because she's loud and snappy. And I thought that was funny. But at the end of the day, I think Heavenly was wrong during this conversation because I'm not biased. I can call people out. I think Heavenly was wrong during this conversation just because it did not have to escalate. She did not have to get up. She did not have to raise her voice. They could have had a civil conversation, even if they didn't see, if they still didn't come to like a common ground. They could have had that conversation without it going so left. So I hated the way it went down. Fuck you, bitch, kiss my ass, say it in my face. Like, the girls had to divide them, and I didn't really like it. I used to really like their friendship, and before the season, I liked both of them. I still kind of like Contessa, so I hate, when it gets like this. And also, when it gets like this, it's kind of hard to review the show because the arguments all over the place. And so that's why I just believe that regardless of what was said, who said what first, I just think that if Heavenly had remained calm and remained seated, it wouldn't have been that bad. But anywho, Heavenly leaves with Anila and Audra, and she goes back to the room for a drink. And the rest of the girls are trying to calm Contessa down, and then Contessa asked to pray. And doing that prayer, Carrie turned right around and ate her plate. Like, Carrie looked like, I'm not gonna say she didn't want no parts of the prayer. Carrie didn't want no parts of this whole argument in general. But Toya, after eating her bacon, she just was really calm. They say the bacon sobered her, and she says maybe a breakthrough will come after honesty. And then the producers kindly reminded us that they've had huge blow-ups like this before. Mostly, man, do y'all remember when Toya and Simone got into it at that damn golfing thing? Like, they husbands try to set them up to, like, get back cool, and they pretty much walked out. Don't you ever put her in a room with me and not tell me. All that cussing and stuff. But they didn't show that. But they did show, I guess, when Quad and Toya got into it real bad. And by the end of it, they was able to talk and hug it out. So maybe it's something to what Toya's saying. But anywho, they get ready to go to the next event, and basically Simone has a pink Hummer limo waiting for them. And at this, Heavenly, Anila, and Audra are upstairs, but Contessa says she don't want to leave nobody behind, and I think you should call them. And so Heavenly didn't answer Simone when she called, but I think she ended up calling Simone back, or Jackie reached her or something. And so they did end up meeting the girls in the limo, and they looked like they had a great time. They went ziplining, and of all people, Toya's nervous. But that's how this episode ended. Maybe it's because they're filming a show, but I'm happy that they can get to yelling and like they about to fight and come back and do an event, and everybody seemed to be okay, at least by the end of the episode. So we'll see what happens on the rest of their Vegas trip next week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I hope this went all over the place because it was a lot going on and hard to really keep track of. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.